How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. If you like Sui or you're interested in Sui, you're going to want to watch this video. Sui's been on an absolute rampage recently, and I have some reasons why. We'll also look at where this could go in the future, why this is pretty similar to Solana, or why it could be very similar to Solana from last bull market, and what that would mean. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Let's get started here. Sui, up to $5.22. Just like I said, absolute rampage. It's up 19% in the last day. It is the best performer. And keep in mind, this is after it's done extremely well, pretty much on any time frame, right? This had a pullback last month when we saw a pullback in all of crypto, to end the year right at $4.15. It's up $1 since then, 25%. When we look back at the 20th of December, it was at $3.52. If we look at the 10th of December, $3.51. So double bottom there and then continued to rally up. This has been so volatile, so fun. I actually covered it a while ago, about 2 months ago with Tyler. It's around $2.25 then. It was after it made a massive run, and I put my money where my mouth was. I actually went long on Sui. We did a 6x on Sui, right under $3. We're up about 500%. I still think this is a great one to trade because it is so volatile. You can see big swings, which we'll talk about here in a second. But if you want to trade Sui, there is a link to BTCC underneath the video. They're giving you a 10% deposit bonus on first-time deposits. You get no VPN, no KYC, and you can trade up to 300 different cryptos, and you can trade with leverage. So definitely check that out underneath the video if you want some of those gains. Now, why is Sui doing so well? Well, there could be a couple different reasons. We'll go through them and then we'll look at how this compares to Solana. Jack Kubinek says, I anonymously polled 42 Solana founders to get their unfiltered opinions on other chains, VCs, startups, the cabal, and more. Responses were spicy. So they say, if you were to build on a blockchain besides Solana, which one would you choose? And it was dead split even on Base and Sui, which is interesting. Sui actually commented on this. Look at all those Solana builders who rank Sui as their preferred alt layer 1 of choice. Maybe part of that. There's a little bit of a little bromance between Phantom and Sui. Phantom to integrate Sui blockchain. This was about a month ago. So they are working together a bit. Sui did flip ton, so when you see flips like this, people get excited. They see some strength, traders come in. It's the 15th largest cryptocurrency in the world. Also, we know FTX repayment started yesterday, so it could kind of make sense that some of these earlier investors, some of these FTX users, they were probably invested in Solana last cycle. They thought Solana was the layer 1 to get into, and maybe they're going with Sui this time. Maybe they are taking that cash and buying the fastest, not necessarily the fastest, but like the fastest growing, most quickly adopted, newest, flashiest layer 1 out there. And I know I'll have some people in the comments saying that it's this crypto or it's that crypto. But what I'm saying is this is one of the most popular cryptocurrencies. It seems like everyone's talking about it. Even people that stick mostly to Bitcoin, a lot of them do have an allocation to Sui for one reason or another. It could be because of some big investor that's invested into it and got them kind of in that loop, or it could be for some other reason. But Sui continues to show strength and bounces harder than every other crypto in the market, it seems. And when you look at the market cap, 15.7 billion. It's still relatively small compared to something like Solana. Of course, Solana's been around longer. It's got more adoption, but it's still 1/7 the size. And this looks similar to Solana in some ways. So Solana last cycle from 2021, when we were looking at May, when it had this first run up, alts actually kind of peaked in March, but Solana kept on running. It was a new crypto. It kept on running all the way up to, let's see, on price, about $56. Then crashed all the way down to actually about $20. It's funny too, because TradingView doesn't even have Solana from back when it was that first pump there. But it fell down from $56 to $20. It went down 64.3%. I know people that were actually running in the burning building and buying right here. And, some people called them stupid for buying this thing because it had fallen 70%. They thought it was the end of Solana. There was just something flashy. And then it rallied hard. It went from $20 all the way up to $260. It went up 1,200%. Of course, then it did have a terrible bear market, but we had just a massive run, even after it had gone from pennies to under $1 to $56. It did a 56x run, then fell down 70%, 65%, then still made a massive run. So it went from 15 billion, which is where Sui is now, all the way down to 7 billion, 6 billion. Recently, when Sui fell down, a lot of people were freaked out. Like, this was not a smooth ride for people. This has had a lot of pullbacks, to be clear. Like, when this launched, right, back in 2023, it spiked up and went down 80%. Then rallied back up to new all-time highs, and then it went down 78%. So another basically 80% drop from the peak to the bottom. Then it went back up to a new all-time high. Was it smooth? No, because then it went down another 33%. Then it went to a new all-time high. Then it went down 24%. Then it went to a new all-time high in November. You would think by now people have seen 30% pullbacks. But people still freaked out because it went down 30% again, 29%. And now it's hitting a new all-time high again. We could very well see a couple weeks of green. That's what we typically see, right? It goes down, couple weeks of green, goes down for a couple weeks of green, goes down for a couple weeks of green. So we could see $5.50, $6 Sui, something like that. And then we could see another 30% pullback. And what we saw this last time, people were freaked out. Like, people were wondering, asking me if they should sell their Sui or if they should buy more. You have to know what you're buying. You have to know what you're holding. So in that video from earlier this year, I talk about getting 500 Sui now. Basically, from from what Tyler was saying, we could see a $20 Sui. And when you just let's look at the market cap. Right now, Sui's sitting at a $15.7 billion market cap. Let's say it did something similar to what Solana did last cycle. Solana got up to a $75 billion market cap. So for Sui, that'd be about a 5x from here. Okay, that would put us at a $25 Sui. So if you had 500 Sui, you'd have about $12,500. If you took out your initial, when I said to buy it at $2.50, you would have been sitting on over $10,000 worth of gains. A bit arbitrary. For some people, that's nothing. That's like what your portfolio goes up and down in a few minutes. For some people, that's life-changing money. But it is a significant number just psychologically, right? You could set it for 100,000, right? Maybe you want 5,000 Sui or something. Now, that's gotten a lot harder to do. Now it costs twice as much. So the question is, on this next dip, are you going to go in and buy Sui? Does it make sense, right? Do you understand Sui? I have people asking, should I buy Sui now? Well, if you didn't buy it back here at $3, you didn't buy it or trade it at $2, you didn't buy it at $1.50, like, why are you buying it now? It's done a 10x since August. So why are you buying it now? Is it because it's gone up a lot? So you've put in more research? Is it because it's gone up a lot and you haven't done research, but it's just gone up a lot, so you think it's going to keep on going up? You have to put in a lot of time and effort during the bull markets, or maybe the beginning parts of the bull markets, to pick out the cryptos you think are going to do extremely well. You don't want to be sitting there being the person that saw a crypto go up 10x and then said, this is going to change the world. I need to buy now. And you continue to buy all the way up. Because eventually, one of these 30% dips won't be a 30% dip. It'll be a 30% dip, then a little bit up, and everyone will really try to buy really hard. The retail will try to buy really hard. Then it will fall down another 60%. That's what happened to Solana several times, actually, because we went up to $260 and then went all the way down to $8. And then went there. We were stuck at $8 for a year. Like this crypto, Solana, in November of 2022 was $13. A year later, or 11 months later, it had gone up to $22. But you can barely notice it on this graph. Like that was nothing at the time, it felt like, because it had fallen down from 260. It was still down 90% even after bouncing up 150%. So you don't want to be the person that's bag holding, that invests all the way up on Solana, all the way up, putting in really large buys here, then sits through the whole bear market. Not even being able to accumulate because you didn't save anything. You allocated too much and now you've got PTSD. So now you're just sitting on your Solana hoping it goes up, or you panic sell or something like that. You don't want to do that with Sui. Now, does Sui still have further to run? I think so. I think Bitcoin's going to run a lot more, so altcoins are probably going to run a lot more. We're not even at a time of higher liquidity yet. We're still not at a time where the Fed's quantitative easing. We still have massive amounts of speculation about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be large buys. I think countries and companies are still going to buy Bitcoin. I think we're still just a fraction of where we're going to be during this bull run. So alts will probably run. But again, at some point, it's not worth the risk reward. Even if, let's say Sui's up at $12 and you think it's going to go to $25. At that point, it's gone up 24x in what, a year? If we do that by August. So do you want to be investing when other people are up 24x and they can take profits at any moment, when you're looking for 100% return? Probably not. So even if it's going up to $25, you have to start evaluating, like, when is the point where I want to stop buying it and just hold on to it? Right? I think it's a great asset. I think it's performing extremely well. It's actually, Altcoin Daily said 15. It's actually 12th in terms of market cap now. I think this thing's a monster, and it can continue to run. But yeah, you just don't want to be the person, again, that is investing way too high. Of course, maybe you want to just set up a plan to dollar cost average. I would suggest, if you want to buy it, to dollar cost average into it, right? You don't have to be a hero, lump sum invest at 530 and then have it take a 40% dump and then freak out or something like that. Just dollar cost average into it. Figure out what you want to do, set up a plan. Otherwise, you can do something like I did, which is you can trade it. Like, you can take advantage. So if you're under allocated, you don't have to put, if you have a $10,000 portfolio, you don't have to put $5,000 into Sui today. You can put $100 5x long, or $200 $500, and you can long it. Now, of course, you have to be ready. When there are big pullbacks, you can get liquidated. So what I'd suggest is you put a stop loss. We consistently see Sui fall down, usually below the prior resistance. Like on some cryptos, you see a big move up and then you see it come back down to maybe where it stopped out at or got rejected by in the past. And then you see it continue running. This thing constantly just wicks up, wicks down, wicks up, wicks down, breaks through all these levels of support and resistance. But you can see like a general uptrend, right? So maybe you want to play this line. Maybe there's some other line you're looking at. But what I would probably do if I was looking at opening another Sui position is just probably wait for this next pullback. I know it's going to be hard. Right now I have a position open and I'm not closing it because I'm so in the green. I'm so in the profit. But wait for another 30% pullback. Maybe when you see that magical 3-0 number, you go long on it. Maybe you follow this trend line and you're like, okay, well, if it hits $4.50, maybe I'll go long there. Maybe you just go 2x long or 3x long on Sui and just let it ride, knowing if you go 3x long, you get liquidated at a 33% dip. And then you just open up another one. Maybe you go a little bit more aggressive. I've done this before too, where I go 10x long or 20x long, and I just continue to open more longs if we fall down and I get liquidated. I just put new limit orders. So if we fall down like 9.5%, I have a new limit order to go long on Sui, and then I get liquidated at 10% down if I'm on 10x leverage, and then at that point I put another limit order for 9.5% down from there, and then if we go down another 10%, then I get liquidated by that new position open, and I just continue down like that until we bounce. And then usually if we bounce and hit new all-time highs, you're making money. Of course, there are risks to it, so do your own research, right? This is speculative leverage trading, so make sure you know what you're doing, because you can lose all the crypto that you're investing in it. But you can check out the link to BTCC underneath the video. Now, let me know if you're invested in Sui. Let me know if you're interested in Sui down below. Let me know what you're drinking today, too. I'm drinking a takeout coffee. I don't usually go for that. I usually go for the Nespresso. But, you know, there's something about just a normal coffee that hits really hard on a Saturday. Also, let me know, maybe a little change up. Let me know what you're eating next. I have some donuts, too, from the coffee shop. So we're gonna dive into those. I know some people think it's crazy to have donuts in the morning. It is a bit crazy. It's very unhealthy. It's like basically eating cake, but it is good every once in a while. So let me know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one.